Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaya Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Dede Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistike. So continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, Chapter 11, the expansions of Lord Nityananda. Text 21 onwards. Nityanandera Ganajata Shavabraja Shakha Shringa Vetra Gopavesha Shireshiki Paka. All the associates of Lord Nityananda were formerly cowherd boys in Brajbhumi. Their symbolic representations were the horns and sticks they carried, their cowherd dress, and the peacock plumes on their heads. Janma Mata is also within the list of Lord Nityananda's followers. She is described in the Gaur Ganadesh Deepika as Ananga Manjari of Vrindavan. All the devotees who are followers of Janma Mata are counted within the list of Sri Nityananda Prabhu's devotees. Raghunath Vaidya Upadhyaya Mahashaya Yaha Darshane Krishna Prema Bhakti Hane. The physician Raghunath, also known as Upadhyaya, was so great a devotee that simply by seeing him, one would awaken one's dormant love of Godhead. Sundarananda Nityananda Rishaka Bhritya Maram Yara Shange Nityananda Kare Vrajanaram. Sundarananda, another branch of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, was Lord Nityananda's most intimate servant. Lord Nityananda Prabhu perceived the life of Brajabhumi in his company. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, Antakhanda chapter 5, it is stated that Sundarananda was an ocean of love of Godhead and the chief associate of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. In the Gaur Ganadesh Deepika, he is stated to have been Sudama in Krishna Lila. Thus, he was one of the 12 cowherd boys who came down with Balaram when he descended as Sri Nityananda Prabhu. The holy place, now this Sudama was different from Sudama of Dwarka. This is Sudama of Braj. The holy place where Sundarananda lived is situated in a village known as Maheshpura, which is about 14 miles east of Majadiya railway station of the Eastern Railway from Calcutta to Burdwan. This place is within the district of Jessore, which is now in Bangladesh. Among the relics of this village, only the old residential house of Sundarananda still exists. At the end of the village resides a Baula, pseudo-Vaishnava, and all the buildings, both the temples and the house, appear to be newly constructed. In Maheshpura, there are deities of Sri Radhavallabh and Sri Radharama. Near the temple is a small river of the name Vetravati. Sundarananda Prabhu was an ascetic brahmachari. He never married in his life. Therefore, he had no direct descendants except his disciples. But the descendants of his family still reside in the village known as Mangladiri, Mangladihi, in the district of Birubhum. In that same village is the temple of Balram, and the deity there is regularly worshipped. The original deity of Maheshpura, Radhavallabh, was taken by Saidabad Goswamis of Barhampur, and since the present deities were installed, a Zamidar family of Maheshpura has looked after their worship. On the full moon day of the moon of Magh, January-February, the anniversary of Sundarananda's disappearance is regularly celebrated, and people from the neighboring areas gather together to observe this festival. So devotees are all over Bengal. Devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda, and Odisha also, some part of Odisha. Kamalakar Pipalai Alokika Rita, Alokika Premata, Rabhuvane Vidita. Kamalakar Pipalai is said to have been the third Gopal. His behavior and love of Godhead were uncommon, and thus he is celebrated all over the world. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, In the Gaur Ganudesh Deepika, Kamalakar Pillai is described as the third Gopal. His former name was Mahabal. The Jagannath deity at Mahesh in Sri Rampur was installed by Kamalakar Pillai. This village of Mahesh is situated about 2.5 miles from Sri Rampura railway station. The genealogy of the family of Kamalakar Pillai is given as follows. Kamalakar Pillai had a son named Chaturabhuja, who had two sons named Narayan and Jagannath. Narayan had one son named Jagadananda, and his son's name was Rajiv Locha. During the time of Rajiv Locha, there was a scarcity of finances for the worship of the Jagannath deity. And it is said that the Nawab of Dhaka, whose name was Shah Suja, donated 1,185 bigha of land, about 395 acres, in the Bengali year 1060 or AD 1653. The land being the possession of Jagannath, the village was named Jagannathpura. It is said that when Kamalaka Pillai left home, his younger brother Nidhipati Pillai searched for him and in due course of time found him in the village of Mahesh. Nidhipati Pillai tried his best to bring his elder brother home, but he would not return. Under these circumstances, Nidhipati Pillai with all his family members came to Mahesh to reside. The members of this family still reside in the vicinity of the Mahesh village. The family name is Adhikari and they are a Brahmin family. The history of the Jagannath temple in Mahesh is as follows. One devotee of the name Dhruvananda went to see Lord Jagannath, Balram and Subhadra at Jagannath Puri, wanting to offer food to Jagannath ji that he had cooked with his own hands. This being his desire, one night Jagannath ji appeared to him in a dream and asked him to go to Mahesh on the bank of the Ganges and they start worship of him in a temple. Thus Dhruvananda went to Mahesh, where he saw the three deities, Jagannath, Balram and Subhadra, floating in the Ganges. He picked up all those deities and installed them in a small cottage, and with great satisfaction, he executed the worship of Lord Jagannath. So, Jagannath, what is it that he cannot do? So he wanted to be worshipped in this village, in the temple by Dhruvananda. So all three brothers, sisters, they were found floating in Ganges. I don't know, it's the same size or smaller size, that I don't know. It's not mentioned here. When he became old, he was very anxious to hand over the worship to the charge of someone reliable. And in a dream, he got permission from Jagannath Prabhu to hand it over to a person whom he would meet the next morning. Next morning, he met Kamalakar Pillai, who was formerly an inhabitant of the village Khalijuli in the Sundravan forest area of Bengal, and was a pure Vaishnava, a great devotee of Lord Jagannath. Thus, he immediately gave him charge of the worship. In this way, Kamalakar Pillai became the worshipper of Lord Jagannath, and since then, his family members have been designated as Adhikari, which means one who is empowered to worship the Lord. These Adhikaris belong to a respectable Brahmin family. The surname Pillai is recognized as designating one of the 55 types of upper class Brahmins. See, Jagannath ji, how he wanted to be worshipped by Kamalakar Pillai, and he wanted to come to Navadvip, so he did. Suryadas Sarakhel, Tara Bhai Krishnadas, Nityananda Dride Vishwas, Premira Nivas. Suryadas Sarakhel and his younger brother Krishnadas Sarakhel both possessed firm faith in Nityananda Prabhu. They were a reservoir of love of Godhead. In the Bhakti Ratnakar, it is stated that a few miles from Navadvip is a place called Shaligram. That was the residence of Suryadas Sarakhel. He was employed as a secretary in the Muslim government of that time, and thus he amassed a fortune. Suryadas had 4 brothers, all of them whom were pure Vaishnavas. Vasudha and Janva were 2 daughters of Suryadas Sarakhel. So Vasudha and Janu, and they both got married to Lord Nityananda. So I'm trying to remember if it is mentioned here. Okay. I might be confused in the names, but the story is as follows. So Nityanand Prabhu, when he was ordered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from in Jagannath Puri that you go stay in Bengal and preach, and you enter the Grihastha ashram. Mahaprabhu said, I have taken sannyas, so I cannot preach to the Grihasthas, but you you get married and you preach in the Grihastha ashram. Okay, and so since he was going to get married, Nityanand Prabhu said, let me wear nice jewelry also. So we heard the story of those thieves who wanted to steal from Lord Nityananda. So now it was somehow arranged that he should marry one daughter of Suryadas Sarakela. I think in the beginning he was going to marry Vasudha. Vasudha was elder daughter. So all the talks were arranged, and Nityanand Prabhu went to marry Vasudha. And after the marriage, they were all sitting down and having prasadam, and Janva was the one serving prasadam, the younger sister. So she came to serve Lord Nityananda something, one of the items. And while she was serving, her chunni from head, the sari, the pallu, it fell down. So immediately two more hands from her body showed up and put the pallu back, because two hands she was serving, one balti and serving. So immediately two extra hands came and it put the pallu back on her head. And Nityanand Prabhu saw that. So Nityanand Prabhu then told Suryadas Sarkhel that for the dowry, I want the second daughter of yours. I want to marry her also. So that's how he got married to both Vasudha and Janva. Although here Prabhupada said earlier that Ma Janva was Anang Manjari, but Lord Balram had two wives, Revati and Varuni. So someplace it is mentioned they both came as Vasudha and Janva. Of course, Nityanand Prabhu, Balramji himself, he's not going to marry some living entity like us. It has to be Vishnu Tattva or Shakti Tattva. And this Ma Janva, she's very much known as Ma Janva because after Nityanand Prabhu left, she was the one who carried on with the preaching mission and getting all the Vaishnavas together, keeping them together. And so she's considered mother. Ma Janva is she always mentioned as Ma Janva. Gauridas Pandityar Premo Danda Bhakti Krishna Prema Dite Nite Dhare Mahashakti. Gauridas Pandit, the emblem of the most elevated devotion service and love of Godhead, had the greatest potency to receive and deliver such love. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, it is said that Gauridas Pandit was always patronized by King Krishnadas, the son of Harihoda. Gauridas Pandit lived in the village of Shaligram, which is situated a few miles from the railway station, Muda Gacha, and later he came to reside in Ambika Kalan. It is stated in Gaur Ganadesh Deepika that formerly he was Subal, one of the cowherd boyfriends of Krishna and Balram in Vrindavan. Gauridas Pandit was a younger brother of Suryadas Sarkhel, and with the permission of his elder brother, he shifted his residence to the bank of the Ganges, living there in the town known as Ambika Kalam. Some of the names of the descendants of Gauridas Pandit are as follows: Sri Narsimha Chaitanya, Krishnadas, Vishnudas, Vada Balaram Das, Govinda, Raghunath, Badu Gangadas. Auliya Gangaram, Yadavacharya, Hriday Chaitanya, Chanda Haladhar, Mahesh Pandit, Mukut Rai, Bhatuya Gangaram, Auliya Chaitanya, Kaliya Krishnadas, Patuya Gopal, Bala Jagannath, Nityananda, Bhavi, Jagadish, Rai Krishnadas, and Annapurna. So Annapurna, it is said 22 and a half. So that was a girl. The eldest son of Gauridas Pandit was known as Big Balram, and the youngest was known as Raghunath. The sons of Raghunath were Mahesh Pandit and Govinda. Gauridas Pandit's daughter was known as Annapurna. The village Ambika Kalna, which is situated just across the river Ganges from Shantipur, is 2 miles east of the Kalna Korata railway station on the Eastern Railway. In Ambika Kalna, there is a temple constructed by the Zamindar of Burdwan. In front of the temple, there is a big tamarind tree, and it is said that Gauridas Pandit and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met underneath this tree. The place where the temple is situated is known as Ambika, and because it's in the area of Kalana, the village is known as Ambika Kalna. It is said that a copy of Bhagavad Gita written by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu still exists in this temple. Wow. So next time to Mayapur, we have to visit this place. Nityananda Samarpila Jati Kula Panti Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Gare Pranapati. Making Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda the lords of his life, Gauridas Pandit sacrificed everything for the service of Lord Nityananda. Even the fellowship of his own family, means he left his own family to serve Lord Nityananda. Nityananda Prabhur Priya Pandit Purandara Premar Nava Madhya Fire Yachan Mandara. The 13th important devotee of Sri Nityananda Prabhu was Pandit Purandara, who moved in the ocean of love of Godhead, just like the Mandar Hill. Pandit Purandar met Sri Nityananda Prabhu at Khadda. When Nityananda Prabhu visited this village, he danced very uncommonly, and his dancing captivated Purandar Pandit. The Pandit was in the top of a tree, and upon seeing the dancing of Nityananda, he jumped down on the ground and proclaimed himself to be Angad, one of the devotees in the camp of Hanuman during the pastimes of Lord Ramchandra. So he proclaimed himself, he must be Angad only. Parmeshwar Das Nityanande Kasharan, Krishna Bhakti Pai Tare, Ekare Smaran. Parmeshwar Das, said to be the 5th Gopal of Krishna Lila, completely surrendered to the lotus feet of Nityananda. Anyone who remembers this name, Parmeshwar Das, will get love of Krishna very easily. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, the Chaitanya Bhagavat states that Parmeshwar Das, known sometimes as Parmeshwari Das, was the life and soul of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. The body of Parmeshwar Das was a place of Lord Nityananda's pastimes. Parmeshwar Das, who lived for some time at Khadda village, was always filled with the ecstasy of a cowherd boy. Formerly, he was Arjun, a friend of Krishna and Balaram. He was the 5th among the 12 Gopals. So again, he was a Gopal, not the Arjun of Mahabharata. He accompanied Srimati Janava Devi when she performed the festival at Kheturi. It is stated in the Bhakti Ratnakar that by the order of Srimati Janava Mata, he installed Radha Gopinath in the temple of Atapura in the district of Hugli. The Atapura station is on the narrow gauge railway line between Howrah and Amata. Another temple in Atapura established by the Mitra family is known as Radha Govinda Temple. In front of the temple, in a very attractive place among 2 bakul trees and a kadam tree, is a tomb of Parmeshwari Thakur. And above it is an altar with a tulsi bush. It is said that only 1 flower a year comes out of the kadamba tree, and it is offered to the deity. Only 1 flower a year. Wow. Parmeshwari Thakur belonged, it is said, to a Vaidya family. A descendant of his brothers is at present a worshipper in the temple. Some of the family members still reside in the district of Hugli near the post office of Chanditala. The descendants of Parmeshwari Thakur took many disciples from Brahmin families. But as these descendants gradually took to the profession of physicians, persons from Brahmin families ceased becoming their disciples. The family titles of Parmeshwari's descendants are Adhikari and Gupta. Unfortunately, his family members do not worship the deity directly. They have engaged paid Brahmins to worship the deity. In the temple, Baldev and Sri Radha Gopinath are together on the throne. It is supposed that the deity of Baldev was installed later because according to transcendental mellow or rasa, Baladev, Krishna and Radha cannot stay on the same throne. So, this is another thing. Baldev, Krishna and Radha cannot be on the same throne, on the same altar. So now if you see, if when we go to Vrindavan temple, so Krishna Balram are on one altar, Radha Shyam Sundar is on a different altar. It's a mood. See, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can be with Radha Krishna altar. But Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu cannot be on the Radha Krishna altar together with them. So even in deities, we have to make sure it's properly arranged. On the full moon day of Vaishak, April-May, the disappearance festival of Parmeshwari Thakur is observed in this temple. Jagdish Pandit hai Jagat Pavan, Krishna Premamrita Varshe Yena Varshaghan. Jagdish Pandit, the 15th branch of Lord Nityananda's followers, was the deliverer of the entire world. Devotional love of Krishna showered from him like torrents of rain. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, descriptions of Jagdish Pandit are available from Chaitanya Bhagavad, Adi Khanda, chapter 6, and Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 14. He belonged to the village of Yashada Gram in the district of Nadia near the Chakadaha railway station. His father, the son of Bhatt Narayan, was named Kamalaksha. Both his father and mother were great devotees of Lord Vishnu. And after their death, Jagdish with his wife Dukhini and brother Mahesh left his birthplace and came to Sri Mayapur to live in the company of Jagannath Mishra and other Vaishnavas. Lord Chaitanya asked Jagdish to go to Jagannath Puri to preach the Harinam Sankirtan movement. After returning from Jagannath Puri on the order of Lord Jagannath, he established deities of Jagannath in the village of Yashula Gram. It is said that when Jagdish Pandit brought the deity of Jagannath to Yashula Gram, he tried the heavy deity to a stick and thus brought him to the village. Yeah, so this was another Leela of Lord Jagannath from Jagannath Puri. So when Jagdish Pandit was there, that was the time of Navkalevar. So after Navkalevar, we know Lord Jagannath, Baldev and Subhadra, they are buried in the ground in a particular place inside the temple complex. It's called Vaikunt Koila. Vaikunt Koila. So they dig up 3 holes and bury the deities, the old deities, and then the new deities are worshipped. And same place, they bury every 19 or whenever they have the new deities. And it is said by that time the old deities which are buried are completely gone. So this year, when Navkalevar happened, Lord Jagannath appeared in the dream of Jagdish Pandit that I want to go with you to Navdev, to Yashoda Gram. And Jagdish Pandit was, how am I going to take you to Navdev? You're so big, huge, heavy. And moreover, pujaris are not going to allow me. Jagannathji said, don't worry, I'll tell them. So Jagannathji told the Pandit that I want to go there with Jagdish Pandit, and he's gonna, just like in older movies we have seen, the people used to have a stick, and at the end of the stick there was a portly of clothes and whatever they were carrying on the shoulder. This is how they would walk. And Jagannathji told, and they just carry me like that. And Jagdish Pandit was surprised. How are you going to go like this? How can he carry you so heavy? Jagannathji, don't worry, I'll go like that. So he carried Jagannathji on the stick, holding like that, from Jagannath Puri, walked all the way to Navadvip. This is how Jagannathji wanted to go. And it is said that the priests of the temple still show the stick used by Jagdish Pandit to carry the Jagannath deity. This is just unimaginable, inconceivable. How is this possible? Yes, it's not possible by our strength, our logic, but by Jagannath's logic, everything is possible. Okay, I guess I'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisance. Prabhuji, so we cannot keep Jagannathji and Radha Krishna in the same altar? Because in Jagannathji pic also we have Balbhadra Bhaiya. Dauji.
Yeah, see, sometimes on the same altar, we can have different thrones, like different sitting place. Yeah, technically, yes, Balramji, Davji, Nityanand Prabhu, they don't go with Radha Krishna, because Radha Rani's relationship with Krishna and Nityanand, Balramji's relationship with Krishna different. So she respects Balramji and she doesn't, like, elder brother is Krishna's elder brother. So she cannot be near Krishna when elder brother is there.
Okay.
Because the Leela cannot happen then.
Okay. And one more thing, Prabhuji. So just wanted to ask, like, suppose we are supposed to visit any person's place where there is someone died, some damage happened. So what should be our etiquette as an ISKCON devotee?
It depends on the mood over there. Otherwise, we can always ask, should we chant? If we can chant together the names of Krishna, this will help the departed soul. So sometimes they agree, sometimes, no, what are you doing? Hare Krishna is doing. Okay, they are in that mood, then we can just sit and chant on our own.
Okay.
It just try not to disturb them more, they might already be disturbed.
Yes, Prabhuji. And apart from this, Prabhuji, मतलब ऐसे जो बोलते हैं कि जब भी कहीं किसी के यहाँ डेथ होता है तो लोग जाते हैं तो वहां से वापस आने के बाद वो पूरा प्रॉपर स्नान लेते हैं, तो वो सब चीजें हमें भी फॉलो करनी चाहिए ना?
Yes. और जो भी कपड़े पहने हैं, I mean, if the bathroom is outside or in the first thing that we come in, so we go in and take out the clothes, and clothes are supposed to be at least rinsed, if not washed, and put it for drying.
Okay.
So actually reminded me when I was in Ludhiana, so it happened, one person died in the congregation, had to go for his cremation and came back, took shower, washed the clothes. I got the news, another person died. So I had to run for his cremation, and again came back and took shower, washed the clothes again. So, and it was cold. It was like December, January time. But yes, we had to go through this.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay. So tulsi and everything we can wear, that's not a problem, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Also, take your bead bag. If they allow to chant loudly, fine. Otherwise, you stand. And also keep Bhagavad Gita, because generally we read 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
So if not Garud Puran, because people get afraid of Garud Puran, so at least read 18th chapter.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay, Math.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
You all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri.
Hare
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.